The brilliant crystal layer hand was suspended on Xiao Yan's palm. Powerful energy pressure spread out from it, causing the space around to tremble intensely. Go! Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air as he flicked his finger gently. That crystal handprint shook and a fine low cry was being emitted. Immediately, it carried a tail of light as it tore through the distance and darted out explosively. In a flash, it violently collided with the large star hand. Shatter it! Old Ghost Zhaixing's face was ferocious. A thought passed through his mind, and the large star hand smashed ruthlessly against the crystal light. This crystal light might be quite strong, but he possessed quite a great confidence towards this attack of his. Given Xiao Yan's strength, as long as he did not use that frightening fire lotus, Old Ghost Zhaixing had complete confidence that he could suppress the former until he was unable to retaliate. However, at this moment, he had forgotten that the current Xiao Yan was no longer the 9-star Dozong from back then. Although the strength of a 3-star Dozun still had some gap with Old Ghost Zhaixing, this gap was no longer one that could not be made up for. Bang! The large hand and the light seal, which were of completely different size, suddenly collided under the many gazes. A shocking voice immediately resounded over this space. Bang! The two collided, and a frightening energy ripple suddenly swept apart like a stormy sea. The space at the middle of the energy storm also collapsed and formed a large dark black hole at this moment. That deep darkness caused one's heart to feel a little chilled. At the empty sport within the dark black space, the large star hand and the light seal were emitting a glaring, intense light. Wild and violent energy eroded each other crazily. They were just like two wild beasts that were doing their best to swallow the other party. Chi, the large star hand, and the crystal light seal continued to emit a wild and violent energy. However, at a certain instant, the two, which were dramatically opposing each other, were finally annihilated at the same time. That manner was as though they were fire seedlings that were suddenly extinguished. With the annihilation of the two, the energy storm that swept apart also suddenly come to a halt, after which they swiftly scattered amidst many stunned gazes. This brat has actually forcefully blocked the dense net great star hand of the old me? Old Ghost Zhaixing's expression immediately became gloomy when he saw this scene. At this moment, he finally began to feel that things were a little troublesome. Although this Xiao Yan's actual strength was only that of a 1-star Dozun, he seemed to possess an endless number of high-grade Do skills. Their strength were so great that it was frightening. Adding the help from the heavenly flame, even Old Ghost Zhaixing would have some trouble finishing him off. This brat has just broken through to the Dozun class for a short while, yet he is already this strong. If he is allowed to continue training, would it not mean that the old me will not be a match for him? Old Ghost Zhaixing's shriveled tree bark-like face twitched for a moment. An unusually dense desire to kill suddenly erupted within his heart. His expression was gloomy as his empty sleeve suddenly began to move. Immediately, many dark black chains that appeared like poison snakes. Finally, they entangled with each other and directly agglomerated into a hand that was completely made from metal chain. The metal chain hand was clenched gently. Old Ghost Zhaixing's face became dense. His shoulders shook and his body became a little illusionary. At a glance, he appeared like a dull fog. His body moved and directly disappeared in a strange fashion. Xiao Yan frowned slightly when Old Ghost Zhaixing's body disappeared. Vast and mighty spiritual strength swiftly spread out from between his brows. Immediately, his expression suddenly changed and his body abruptly pulled back. An illusory figure quickly appeared just as Xiao Yan's body had just pulled back. The metal hand that was created from the dark black chains directly carried a sharp, dark, and cold wind that smashed furiously towards Xiao Yan's head. Bang! Xiao Yan's arms hurriedly blocked in front of him, as he looked at the metal fist that was rapidly expanded in front of his eyes. He forcefully received the attack. However, that frightening strength directly shook Xiao Yan's hands until they became numb. His body also stepped back unsteadily. Xiao Yan was naturally no match for Old Ghost Jiaxing when it came to head-on Do-Chi clash. Chi. Old Ghost Jiaxing laughed coldly after forcing Xiao Yan's back with a punch. His body trembled, and he appeared to have teleported as he once again appeared in front of Xiao Yan. Seeing Old Ghost Jiaxing closely chasing from behind, Xiao Yan hurriedly activated the 3000 lightning movement to its limit. Numerous afterimages surfaced in the sky. His body also swiftly rushed backwards. The illusory ghost agility skill of the old me is not something that the 3000 lightning movement of yours can compare with. A cold laughter was being emitted from the empty space. Xiao Yan's eyes became dazzled. All he could see was that Old Ghost Jiaxing had once again appeared in front of him. Those afterimages did not pose any obstruction to him. This old ghost is really fast. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly when he saw Old Ghost Jiaxing adhering to him like a maggot in one's bones. He had already used the 3000 lightning movement to its limit, but was actually still unable to match Old Ghost Jiaxing. It seemed that the level of this so-called illusory ghost agility skill was of a higher level than the 3000 lightning movement. Go and die. Old Ghost Jiaxing laughed in a savage fashion. This illusory ghost agility skill was one of his ultimate skills. He had never used it against anyone below a 5-star Dozun level. Today, however, he was forced to use all of his strength to deal with Xiao Yan. Bang! 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 Old Ghost Jiaxing had a dense and cold face. His palm wind was just like a storm that came pouring down. It appeared to violently smash towards Xiao Yan in a violent fashion. Under this crazy attack, the space itself was being forcefully pressured into a concave form. A sonic boom sound continued to resound across the sky. Xiao Yan continued to be forced back in defeat under this attack of Old Ghost Jiaxing. Although he ended up in a disadvantage, Xiao Yan's expression still remained calm. The purple-brown flame rapidly rotated after forcefully receiving the attacks from Old Ghost Jiaxing. Waves after waves of strange energy spread out and swiftly healed Xiao Yan's injuries. The undying and recovery ability of the 3000 burning flame was finally being displayed to its greatest degree. As long as the flame was not extinguished, Xiao Yan was able to continuously recover from his injuries. Of course, the precondition was that he possessed sufficient Do-Chi to be squandered by the 3000 burning flame. Following this continuous cycle of being injured and healed, Xiao Yan had also started to become wilder because of the fight. At the end, he had basically given up all of his defense. He actually directly chose the most dangerous head-on collision method. Each time Old Ghost Jiaxing struck him with a punch, he would also unceremoniously return a punch to the other party. In any case, he had the 3000 burning flame to preserve his life. Although Xiao Yan had to endure quite a great amount of pain, he would not need to worry about his life being in any danger. Of course, the precondition was that he was not struck until even the 3000 burning flame did not have the time to heal him. Bang, bang, bang. Everyone were stunned when they saw the two people in the sky having become distorted into a chaotic battle. A 1-star Dozun actually dared to engage in such a crazy collision with a 5-star Dozun. This was something that they had never heard of. This bastard. The crazy battle continued. However, Old Ghost Jiaxing became increasingly frightened the more he fought. Xiao Yan had basically forcefully endured dozens of his punches. Logically speaking, forget about a 1-star Dozun. Even a genuine 3-star Dozun would likely have long since been defeated after suffering from serious injuries. Yet, other than appearing a little miserable-looking, Xiao Yan in front of him was just like a cockroach, becoming increasingly powerful the longer the fight dragged on. It's the 3000 burning flame. The experience of this old ghost Zhaixing was also quite great. Upon seeing the purple-brown flame that was lingering on Xiao Yan's body, he suddenly understood the reason. His face quickly turned green. With the 3,000 burning flame protecting Xiao Yan's body, the latter appeared just as though he was carrying a high-quality healing medicine with him. With just a thought, the 3,000 burning flame would swiftly heal the spot where he was injured. Who would dare to compare with him in terms of endurance in this kind of rogue battle? Old Ghost Zhaixing did not dare to continue fighting when he thought of this. Although the 3,000 burning flame exhausted quite a lot of Do Qi to heal an injury, Xiao Yan's appearance of being full of energy did not look like a person who was about to exhaust all of his Do Qi. Use the Do technique. Kill him in one attack. Old Ghost Zhaixing's expression sunk. His body swiftly became illusory, after which he disappeared once again. Is he competing in terms of speed again? Xiao Yan, whose clothes was in tatters, parted his mouth when he saw Old Ghost Zhaixing's body disappeared. An unusually dense pain was seeping out from every part of his body. Almost all of Old Ghost Zhaixing's punches had landed on flesh. Although his injuries had been quickly recovered due to the 3,000 burning flame, the pain appeared to have been magnified by dozens of times at this moment. This caused the muscles all over Xiao Yan's body to tremble involuntarily. The Do Qi exhaustion is too great. I cannot continue to drag it out like this with him. Otherwise, the first one to fall will definitely be me. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air. He suppressed the intense pain that was being transmitted from all over his body. The seal formed by his hands changed, after which the clothes on his back moved. Immediately, he heard a tearing sound as a pair of bone wings suddenly shot out. The bone wings had a jade-like color. It was crystal clear. Numerous strange green-red lines spread within this crystal, giving it an extremely mysterious appearance. This bone wings was naturally something that Xiao Yan had used the Heaven Demon Phoenix wings to refine and create. However, due to him being afraid that the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe would pester him and that he did not possess the qualification to fight with the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, he had been hiding it within his body. Yet, he had no choice but to use it today. In any case, the current Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe did not display any friendly intention towards him. In that case, he no longer needed to hide. Qi. Old Ghost Zhaixing's figure surfaced in a ghost-like manner in the empty sky. His hands formed some seals with lightning-like speed. Vast and mighty energy swiftly surged. Boom! The energy had just been gathered when a hot, sharp wind suddenly struck. It caused Old Ghost Zhaixing's expression to change. His body hurriedly pulled back. However, he had just done so when the sharp wind strangely turned towards his back, after which it violently landed on his back. Groan. The sudden heavy attack had directly shook Old Ghost Zhaixing until he continued to be forced back. A muffled moan was being emitted from his throat. He suddenly raised his head and looked at Xiao Yan, who was flapping a pair of jade bone wings. A disbelief surfaced within his eyes. The speed of the latter had basically soared to a frightening stage that even he could not sense. Old Ghost, try and receive another fire lotus from me. The bone wings were flapped gently as Xiao Yan let out a cold laughter. He flicked his finger and 3 clusters of heavenly flames surfaced in front of him, after which they collided with lightning speed due to a thought of his. The expression of Old Ghost Zhaixing suddenly changed drastically when he saw that Xiao Yan was intending to merge the heavenly flames again. His body flashed, and he whisked towards Xiao Yan with lightning-like speed. Your current speed is insufficient. Xiao Yan smiled when he saw this. He flapped the bone wings and his body swiftly pulled back like a meteorite, abandoning Old Ghost Zhaixing far behind him. With the bone wings aiding him, his speed could already overlook most elite Dozuns. If he isn't sufficient, will it be sufficient if I am added in? Xiao Yan's words had just sounded when a shady cold laughter suddenly resounded over the sky. Immediately, two blurry figures rushed past the empty space. In almost an instant, they had appeared a short distance in front of Xiao Yan. The sudden appearance of the human figures also caused Xiao Yan's face to change a little. His eyes swept over the two figures. His heart suddenly sunk when he saw that the backs of these two individuals had a pair of wings. Heaven Demon Phoenix Tribe? Xiao Yan's expression was somewhat gloomy as he watched these two human figures that had suddenly appeared. These two individuals had white hair. They were wearing grayish-white robes. A pair of wings were gently being flapped on the backs of these two old fellows. A faint lightning sound vaguely resounded. Xiao Yan had seen this pair of wings on Huang Xian. Hence, he also understood that these two people were likely experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Two 5-star Dozuns. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over these two indifferent-looking old men. His heart sunk involuntarily. The strength of these two were not inferior to old ghost Zhaixing. This Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was indeed worthy of being one of the 3 top tribes of the magical beast world. Two experts of such a level had actually appeared together. Is this reinforcements from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe? That old fellow Huang Xian was actually purposefully delaying time until the arrival of the reinforcements. Xiao Yan's eyes flickered rapidly. His fist also suddenly tightened. The bone wings of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, brat, your boldness is really great. An old man wearing a grayish-white robe glanced at Xiao Yan before pausing his eyes on the pair of bone wings on the latter's back. The corner of his eyes were lifted slightly as he spoke in an indifferent voice. Xiao Yan's eyes were gloomy. His body pulled back slightly. Two 5-star Dozuns and an old ghost Zhaixing looking with ill intent from the side. If the situation was not handled well today, it was likely that he would really end up dying today. There is no need for any unnecessary words. Capture this brat, tear the bone wings off, and bring him back to the tribe to be punished. The other elder from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe spoke with a cold expression. We must heavily punish such actions. Otherwise, how can we deter others in the future? Ugh, it's just as well. We'll capture him, cripple his do qi, and let him kneel in the tomb for his entire life. The grayish-white robed elder nodded. A cold glint flashed within his eyes. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe greatly valued the corpse of their tribe members. Anyone who dares to commit even the slightest blasphemy against a corpse of a tribe member will be chased by them with a murderous intent. This had resulted in them having not met anyone who dared to use the wings of the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe to create a flying doe skill for many years. Xiao Yan was the first today. Xiao Yan involuntarily laughed furiously when he had the decision of these two old fellows that were made as though no one else was present. He curled his hand and 3 types of heavenly flame gathered, after which it formed a beautiful, exquisite fire lotus rapidly. A trace of destructive force quietly spread from it when the fire lotus was formed. This caused the energy of this place to fluctuate intensely. The 2 elders from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe were also startled when they sensed the might of the fire lotus in Xiao Yan's palm. A low and deep exclamation was emitted from their mouths. They were clearly very surprised that Xiao Yan was actually able to use a do skill of such might. 2 misters, this is a fire lotus that is formed from the merger of 3 types of heavenly flames. Do not underestimate it. Old ghost Zhaixing in the distance watched the fire lotus in Xiao Yan's hands with horrified eyes before issuing a warning. Yes. The 2 of them nodded indifferently but did not respond. Their eyes stared at Xiao Yan and said, The old me also sensed the smell of the demon phoenix essence blood. Brat, you have broken all the taboos of my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe? Xiao Yan was expressionless. He flicked his finger and the fire lotus in his hand rose, after which it was accompanied by a fire tail as it gently rushed towards the two old men. The two old men let out a cold snort when they saw the fire lotus rushing over. Vast ocean like powerful do chi surged out from the bodies of the two of them like a volcano. It vaguely gathered and formed an unusually large heaven phoenix shape above their heads. Explode! Xiaoyan laughed coldly when he saw this. A thought passed through his heart, and the fire lotus that flew close to those two instantly bloomed. Immediately, bang sounded as it exploded in an earth-shaking manner. Humph, demon phoenix spell. The expressions of those two elders sunk as the frightening fire storm swept over. They formed some mysterious seals with their hands with lightning-like speed. Within the blink of an eye, it formed a 1,000-feet large energy bell in the midair, completely covering the fire storm that had swept over. Clang! The firestorm heavily collided onto the wall, and the energy of this entire place became restless at this moment. A thunder-like metallic sound resounded beside everyone's ears, causing the do chi within their bodies to tremble intensely. A frightening firestorm spread inside the demon phoenix bell. That destructive force ruthlessly collided onto the walls of the bell. Glaring sparks appeared as the demon phoenix bell shook continuously. There was actually a slight crack line vaguely spreading within it. The expressions of those two elders changed slightly when they saw the tiny crack line spreading on the demon phoenix bell. They felt some disbelief within their hearts. The demon phoenix bell that was created by the two of them together could trap a 5-star dozun. Yet, it was currently showing signs of cracking apart in the hands of a little fellow, whose aura was that of a mere 3-star dozun. This brat is a little strange. The two elders exchanged looks and gently nodded. They waved their sleeves. Vast and mighty do chi swiftly surged out from within their bodies, after which it was poured into the demon phoenix bell, causing the enormous bell to emit a kind of unusual luster. Explode! Xiao Yan's expression sunk slightly as he watched the fire storm that was being trapped within the bell. A thought passed through his mind, and the might of the fire lotus suddenly erupted completely. Clang! 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 The firestorm collided wildly on the enormous bell, emitting a deafening, earth-shaking noise. At the same time, it caused the demon phoenix bell to tremble intensely. Bang! The two heaven demon phoenix tribe's elders once again had a change in expression when they saw the demon phoenix bell trembling intensely. Before they could continue to strengthen it, however, they heard a loud bang. That incomparably solid demon phoenix bell was completely blasted apart in front of their stunned gazes. Humph! The two experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe were implicated when the demon phoenix bell exploded. A low and deep moan was emitted from their mouths. Their feet were also shaken until they took 2 steps back. An insignificant tactic. After swiftly stabilizing their bodies, the two grayish-white clothed elders glanced at the annihilation firestorm that followed. They stood with their hands behind them and laughed coldly. However, no one saw that the hands under their sleeves had involuntarily trembled at this moment. 2 idiots. A short distance away, old ghost Zhai Xing watched these 2 experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe and involuntarily shook his heads. With his ability, he was naturally able to sense that these 2 old fellows had suffered some hidden losses because they had joined hands and act strong. Seeing that the fire lotus that was formed from the merger of 3 types of heavenly flames being blocked, Xiao Yan frowned a little. He immediately glanced at those 2 elders, and a cold smile involuntarily surfaced on his face as he asked, "You too, are you feeling a little terrible?" That gray-clothed old man's face sunk slightly when he heard this. He spoke faint, razor-tongue brat. "Bring yourself with you, and obediently return with us to the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. We do not wish to use force. However, you should be able to see the situation here clearly. Today, All of you will not be able to escape. Chi. A couple of figures flashed over from the midair when this old man's voice sounded. Finally, they paused beside Xiao Yin. They were Little Fairy Doctor's group. We have been surrounded. Little Fairy Doctor's words caused Xiao Yan's heart to sink. Only then did he turn his gaze. He discovered that nearly 100 figures had appeared around the square at some unknown time. Powerful auras spread over the place. Clearly, this was the reinforcement that the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe had called. This Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe really hold us in high regard. Even Xiao Yin involuntarily sighed and slowly said when he saw this situation. Adding these two old men who had suddenly appeared, the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe had 4 5-star Dozuns. This lineup was sufficient to be worthy of the description terrifying. Although that old fellow's tone was arrogant, it must be said that the situation today really appeared as though Xiao Yan's group would have difficulty escaping. Xiao Yan, hand over the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. We might allow your companions to leave. Otherwise, do not blame my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe for engaging in a slaughter today. Huang Xian was suspended in the empty air. His arms hugged his chest as he let out a cold cry. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe is really acting in a mighty manner. Ziyin laughed coldly. Huang Xian's eyes narrowed. He stared at Ziyin and slowly said, Ancient Void Dragon. Indeed, we do not wish to offend you, but my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will not hold back even a little for the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit. What should we do? This situation is bad. 4 5-star Dozuns. This lineup is even more frightening than when we were at the branch hall of the Hall of Soul. Tian Huazunjia frowned and asked. Xiao Yin inhaled a deep breath of air. A crazy expression gradually surged up his face. If this Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe force him to his limit, he could only once again use the Annihilation Lotus Flame. With his current strength, it was likely that even 4 5-star Dozun would have difficulty blocking the Annihilation Lotus Flame that he unleashed. Although he would directly enter a weakened state after this, he had no other choice at this critical moment. There is no need for all of you to act. Leave it to me. Ziyin appeared to be aware of Xiao Yan's thoughts. She shook her head slightly as the tattoo on her small hand wiggled. That Dragon Phoenix origin fruit slowly appeared. She lifted this fruit and stood in the empty space. Her eyes were cold and indifferent as he looked at Huang Xian and the 2 Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe elders, whose eyes were covered with greed. At the same time, she coldly laughed. The Dragon Phoenix origin fruit is here. Come and take it if you have the ability. Little Fairy Doctor's group was startled when they saw Ziyan's action. They were about to speak when they were stopped by Xiao Yin at the side. The latter shook his head. Ziyin might be mischievous, but she was not a fool. She should have her reason for this action of hers. Humph, a mere child ancient void dragon. Do you really think the old me is afraid of you? Huang Xian's eyes exchanged looks with the 2 other Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe elders. He nodded a little. Immediately, their bodies rushed out at the same time. The 3 of them had actually attacked together and charged at Ziyin in a ferocious manner. The speed of Huang Xian trio was extremely frightening. Within the blink of an eye, they had appeared over a dozen meters in front of Ziyin. Their eyes were crazily staring at the fruit that was emitting an unusual fragrance. Once they had this thing, a new supreme magical beast bloodline would appear in the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. This kind of bloodline would be even more powerful than the ancient Void Dragon. The Dragon Phoenix origin fruit belongs to my Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe. Chi. However, just when the hands of those 3 were about to grab the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit on Ziyan's little hand, the space beside Ziyin suddenly emitted a ripping sound. It split and formed a large hole. Immediately, a strong figure strided out of the space. This figure had just appeared when an extremely powerful pressure suddenly descended. Under this pressure, the The faces of those Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe experts immediately became pale. The forward-charging figures of Huangxian trio suddenly stiffened. A shocked expression swiftly spread over their faces. A human figure appeared. Along with it, a furious, domineering laughter immediately rumbled over this entire place. Is a tribe member of my ancient void dragon tribe someone that you frivolous birds can touch?